What's going on, family? Welcome back to Isrock's Movie Reviews. And thank you for clicking on my channel. Thank you for joining me on this one. And this one is a special one. We're going to be talking about Black Panther, the film from 2018. And I want to start off by saying rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman. He was a special talent, and obviously we're all going to miss him. This man had such a future, and let alone such a short time. The movies that he produced, the movies that he starred in were amazing. This man was a true superhero in real life. You know, Chadwick Boseman, who played a pair of real life, not only black icons, but heroes, played Thurgood Marshall. He played Jackie Robinson. He played James Brown. And then he brought T'Challa to life in this Black Panther film. And man, his story is not like any other. You know, he actually went to college, I believe Howard University, on a grant. And who gave him that grant? Denzel Washington and his wife. He was only 43 years old while he passed. He was introduced to us in Captain America Civil War. Man, and I'm just fortunate that we did get to see him in multiple films. We got to see him in this standalone film. We got to see him in Infinity War for a little bit. Then we got to see him in Endgame. And there was no telling where he would have won with this franchise. You know, he definitely left his mark. And I'm one of those who says, let's recast in his honor. You know, he was not only a special actor, he was a special man. And with that being said, man, we're going to get straight into it. I wanted to see Black Panther for a while, and I'm going to give an honest review on this. Not just because he passed or anything like that, but it's, you know, I'm continuing with the MCU universe chronological order review. So, you know, I'm not going to let my feelings get in the way of the review, but kudos to everybody involved in this film. Michael B. Jordan, Daniel Kaluuya, Lupita Nyong'o, you know, Andy Serkis. These were people in this film that helped get this off the ground, and it finally happened. With predominantly all black cast. Man, special film. What it did in the box office was special. It showed that a movie can make $1 billion with people that look like us. And that was a plus. So like I said, man, I was in back of this film for a long time. Pre-production, post-production, whatever it was. I wanted to see this film. And the first time I actually got to see the trailer, I think was around the finals, the NBA finals. And I was just so psyched for it. You know, the trailer, seeing the trailer had me excited, but it didn't, you know, give me that ease, like, damn, is this going to be a good movie? Nobody really knew, you know? It was one of my most anticipated films of 2018. As somebody who likes and loves most of the Marvel movies, I was just stoked at the idea that Black Panther and this film was going to come to fruition. And it was interesting as what the film would be, what it was hyped up to be, what the trailer looked like. And was this going to get high ratings? Was it going to get a critical acclaim? Was this going to be a promising film? And as I watched it, I've seen this movie 5 times in the theaters. 5 times within a week span. Yeah, so you know I like the movie. But, you know, I did have some little bit of issues with it. My thoughts were that Black Panther was a decent and intriguing film with a lot of very well done and great elements. But it didn't blow me away. It left me a little disappointed after the hype, as indicated. Far from hated it, but I didn't love it. I was expecting to. I actually saw Black Panther on opening weekend twice in a sold-out showing. Then I seen it a few days later, twice again. Then I seen it the next weekend. And just gonna start off by saying I saw a lot of people that had different opinions than me. You know, they're a little biased, right? But like I said, you're here for a review, an honest review, and I'm gonna give it to you. It didn't blow me away. I was a little disappointed after the hype. I actually saw this, like I said, 5 times, and it was touching as whether a ticket could be gotten. You know, I was like, wow, this is really touching. Like, things are sold out. Every theater I went to. But thank God I got them, pre-booked. And that just, before I even saw the movie the first time, that gave me hype. That gave me, okay, the confidence. I was like, oh, this movie has to be crazy. And we went on from there, properly, forming my thoughts. I didn't want to go in there with any expectations. I wanted to go there with a clear mind. And I was nervous because, this movie is very divisive with a lot of people for some reason. You're going to get good reactions, bad reactions, mixed reactions. And the condition on both sides weren't going to sway me one way or the other, but I was just shocked. Starting with the good things, right? Black Panther is mostly an impressive it's a visual masterpiece in my opinion. The special effects were variable here, but there were some spectacular ones. While it's beautifully and stylistically shot, the cinematography here, you can tell, was beautifully put well together. It was slickly edited and just uniquely costumed. The costumes were great. It's the extraordinary production design that was most noteworthy. Love the use of technology in this film, which was really cool. The music has the right amount of haunting, intensity, energy, dignity, and pathos. So a fine score of its own, but not always utilized right in the film, in my point of view. A few ill-fitting moments, mood-wise. Much of the action is exciting, though there could have been more action, I feel. And there's a good deal of thought-provoking script writing with some nicely injected humor here and there. But once you're immersed in the world of Wakanda, you're fascinated, This world has so many thematic terms which you experience. You're like, wow, okay, I see where they were trying to go. I see where they're going in this. The story does grip once it's getting going, and it doesn't feel as confused and jumpy as it does in the beginning, with the timeline and the location changes needing to be clearer, because towards the beginning of the film, the first half hour, it kind of jumps. Eventually you know what they're doing, but sometimes it gets a little confusing. But I like it. I like what it did to begin with, and a lot of it, even when turning our everyday struggles on the heads, and it's surprisingly relevant in this film. I think they paint that picture perfect. Personally, I don't think that was too much. A lot of people had their opinions, a lot of people had their suggestions, but I thought it was perfect. This movie could have been one of those movies that were going to be considered woke as hell, but it really wasn't. I personally thought that much of the acting was great, with a very, very charismatic lead in Chadwick Boseman. His performance was top-notch. Michael B. Jordan came here, and he did not play as the villain. Yes, the villain. He played the villain in this film, and I remember when he got the job, I was like, Michael B. Jordan as the villain? I don't see it. Yes, he pulled it off. He actually, you hear me all the time say it in my reviews with these Marvel villains, they're horrible. He manages to just kill it. He's actually one of the best Marvel villains we've had thus far. Michael B. Jordan, he brought his self-loathing, conflicted edge and swagger to the Killmonger character. Man, he looks beefed up. He looks great in the role. He's realistic. You believe his pain. You believe his conflicted story. Andy Serkis, He's relishing in the role. You can tell that he's having fun. uh, this man is having fun with this role. He's an aloof in this. Uh, the women are just as good, man, with a dignified Lupita Nyong'o. She's regal. She's no nonsense. And a feisty Denai Guerrera. She's great. She's fun in this. She kicks ass. That's what I love about this movie. Ryan Coogler directed this film, and he did such a terrific job. It's a Black Panther film, but this movie felt more of a door, the women film. You know, it's crazy the way he put the women in front of this, and I think that's what really carried the film. And let's not forget, we have an endearing baby sister, Letitia Wright, who plays Shuri. And I think she's awesome in her role. She portrays herself as a really smart individual, and she comes off really well in the screen. While the role is small, Daniel Kaluuya is also fun in this. I love his banter with his wife, who's played by Denai Guerrera. He's awesome in everything he does, so I wasn't surprised. Direction is above competent, if not innovative, and really appreciated the filmmaking Killmonger more than the standard Marvel villain, right? Here, one with questionable personal motives, but one where you can see his point of view and his empathy. There's times where you actually, I'm not gonna say root for him, but you understand him, and you don't look at him sideways as much. Although his actions are very inconsistent throughout the film and don't always make sense, you know, he could have been more threatening. Generally, he's one of the better Marvel villains in these Marvel films, and he's the most developed villain in a Marvel film, you know, which made him top-notch above a lot of them. If this is one of the good Marvel villains, Brian B. Jordan is up here. You know, he's just that good. And I feel like he's one of the better Marvel villains because he was fully characterized. You know, they definitely put full stock into his character, you know, and the titular character in Black Panther being no other exception, which you see his relationship with his father, his relationship with his mother, his relationship with the outside world. And, you know, when he loses his father eventually in Civil War, spoiler alert, you feel for him. But in this, it's directly after Civil War, and you see him taking up the mantle, and he's conflicted. He don't know how to do it. He don't know why. And then he finds out certain things that lead up to this Killmonger character coming in, trying to take over. And I loved the way they played on those two characters. Very similar, but very different. You know, they stood for similar things. But at the end of the day, you know, you fall on two sides. Black Panther, to me, also has its faults. And most of the characters are stock and cliched. While some of the first half is, I feel they spoke a little too much. The film is a little slow burning. You know, it gets slow going. And like I said before, it's a little confusing to start with. And some of the political elements in this are laid on too thick, I feel, adding to the general feel that even with the splashes of humor that try to mellow it down, the film takes itself a bit too seriously. And with the amount of predictability it has, to me, it doesn't do enough with the new novel concept that they were trying to go for here. There are exceptions to the cast, like Forrest Whitaker, who I feel who's a legend. He's pretty much wasted in this as a non-developed character with too much short screen time. I wish that on top of the scene being rushed, that his final scene has no impact to me as a result. I wish he would have had more screen time and had a little more to do. I think it would have helped the story a little more. Also, Martin Freeman, you know, the only Caucasian pretty much in the movie. he's two fish out of water as well. You can tell he's really happy to be in the film, but he comes off a little awkward. You know, although some of the effects are spectacular, also others are very choppy, especially in the final action scene between Black Panther and Killmonger. It clearly resembled a video game, you know, from back in the day. I wanted to see a better ending, you know, especially a more practical one. You know, this one CGI straight out, and I wasn't really feeling it. That scene also felt rushed, sometimes vaguely choreographed, anticlimactic. Though the whole climax felt overstuffed and too busy for my liking. But overall, to me, this was a decent and interesting, but was expecting more. You know, maybe some of you guys are going to disagree with me. Definitely leave your thoughts in my comments. And let me know what you thought. You know, I'm not shitting on the film by any chance. I actually think this movie was well done. You know, I just feel that I don't think it's one of the best Marvel films overall. I like what the movie stands for. I like what it did to the culture. But as a film, it was a long way from being bad. And definitely wasn't terrible. But for me, it's one of the weaker films in this franchise, unfortunately. Until we actually do get a sequel and let's see if they better it. And it's going to be hard because, you know, there's no Chadwick Boseman. But I give this movie 7.5 out of 10. That might sound low to a lot of you, but 7 out of 10 is not bad for Black Panther at all. And kudos to Ryan Coogler again. He directed a good film. Really good film. And if you liked this review, hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. And if you want more content from me, all you gotta do is subscribe as we continue this Marvel MCU universe. To the next one. Peace.